Just like with every regular form of human interaction, the jurors in the Depp-Heard case seem to have actually formed an opinion of both the actors while the trial was ongoing. And according to insider information, it seems the people aren't the only one that got tired of Amber's tales on the stand, as reports are claiming some of the jurors were actually falling asleep. So, exactly what is the news on the jury's reaction during the defamation trial, given that we're all human beings? There are a few traits we jointly share, and one of those that applies in this case is being bored sitting in a courtroom for several hours while lawyers battle out their cases. Yup, that was exactly the case with members of the jury in the Depp-Heard case. And these aren't even my words, these actually came from someone that was inside the court throughout the entire trial. Speaking to the Law and Crime Network yesterday, stenographer Judy Bellinger, the Virginia court stenographer who recorded the 6-week-long trial, said that a few jurors struggled to stay awake, particularly during the video depositions. In her words, there were a few jurors who were dozing off. Bellinger also noted that it was particularly tougher for the jurors in the front and the back rows. Continuing her explanation of what she noticed during the trial, she said, "There were a lot of video depositions and they would just sit there, and all of a sudden I'd see their heads drop." Bellinger also added that the most attentive juror was actually an alternate, and incidentally enough, they did not even get to weigh in on the final verdict. For context, alternates step in if a juror can't continue in the trial for reasons such as illness or emergencies, but don't decide the verdict unless called to replace a juror. Talking more about that particular alternate, the stenographer said, "Unfortunately, the one alternate that was on there, she was probably the one that listened the most." She continued, "I watched her facial expressions. She was very deeply into every word that was being said. I thought she would have made a great juror, and she did not get to see it to the end. She was paying close attention." And inasmuch as Bellinger had a lot to say about her observations of the jury during the 6-week-long legal battle, she also spoke about some of the rumors and accusations she had been getting that she attended a party with Depp and his legal team following closing arguments on May 27, saying she had left her recording equipment with transcriptions of the day's trial in the courthouse, and Depp's lawyers retrieved it and had her pick it up at their hotel. The reason why it was so talked about on social media was that she actually took a picture with Johnny Depp at a hotel and posted it, which expectedly went viral. Now addressing all of that, she said, "I was in there for probably less than 10 minutes, and he just hugged me and thanked me again." She continued, "And I had a couple of other people there, and I got my equipment, and I came out." Now that the verdict was passed in Johnny's favor, with them awarding him over $10 million in damages and also establishing that Amber actually defamed him in the 2018 op-ed, some people have been tracing that verdict back to the stenographer helping Depp win, especially after the pair have been repeatedly seen interacting with each other during the final days of the trial. But even with all of these rumors going around, many fans that actually watched the trial have come to social media to give their observations on the jury's reaction to the testimonies given, specifically Amber's. One user wrote, "Apparently the jury struggled to look at Amber during testimony and show signs of being bored when it comes to the majority of her witnesses, excluding Amber's sister. Not looking good for Amber." Another user with a similar line of thinking wrote, "Jury were bored and uninterested in Amber's friends' testimonies and only took notice of Drew, and when acting coach said Amber can't tear when she's acting crying." Of course, taking all of these points into consideration, it isn't particularly surprising that the trial actually ended up the way it did, and with the actress planning an appeal. Let's wait to see if she'll do things any differently, and that's even in the off chance she's actually granted the appeal, given that she has zero grounds for it. But that's a conversation for another day. Tell us, were you also bored watching Amber's testimonies?